Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you thought we stopped existing or if we actually did stop existing, whether you thought it or not. It's been about a month, maybe 2 months, maybe three. I haven't been counting, but I'm sure somebody out there has. This is the Quad Mid Podcast. This is episode 8, and I'm glad to be back. I'm your host, Mad Jack. As always, I'm joined by my boys, Wild Cucumber and BK Wappa. And today we have a very special guest. He's you might have seen him in the comments. It's the Vice President of the United States, but we just call him Matt though. But Matt, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
I-
My name's Matt, but I go by Mike Pence, and I'm just electrified to be here.
Great to have you, man. Bailey, Tad, we've been away for a while. How you guys been?
Tired,
Right?
busy.
The same old, you know?
I got you.
Same
Cool.
same song, different dance, you know?
Same song, different
Same
chorus.
song, second semester. Or
Yeah.
semester.
Got you.
Yes, sir.
Ugh, well, it's good to be back here. We're back in time just for Worlds. Well, we're live on Twitch right now.
Ah, there we go.
I'm streaming on twitch.tv/MattJack. This will be uploaded to our YouTube channel probably tomorrow morning or overnight tonight. But at the time of this recording, Worlds is going to be going on this evening. In fact, since it's in China, it'll start at 2 a.m. I'm pretty excited for that. Also, so with this return, we're really hoping that it's not just you have to wait another month for another upload. We're actually going to be trying to stick into a schedule, and so our recording schedule and our streaming schedule, because as you can tell now, we're live on Twitch. For those of you watching live, it's going to be every other Wednesday. So every second Wednesday of the month, we're going to try. Well, actually, this is the first Wednesday of the month. So every first and third Wednesday of the month, we're going to try to get a podcast out and get some consistency for you guys. So you actually have a time to tune in and a reason. Well, you have a reason, but it's not a very consistent time. So there's that.
We're
Also,
getting it figured out, folks.
we're trying.
Look at how good we are.
We're trying.
Look
Yeah.
how official we are, guys. It's as the kids say, it's lit. And our next either in either the next episode we are going to stream it, or probably the episode after that we are going to finally do league trivia. I know Tad is really excited for that one. He's been waiting.
Yes.
He's been waiting what feels like a lifetime to get it on. We're going to probably have a bigger host of people on for that episode, just because it'll create a better environment if we have more people participating in trivia. But we have to get the specifics out for that, so look out for the league trivia coming soon. But now that we've got all the announcements out of the way, let's get right into the first topic, and that is Worlds. And this is honestly my favorite time of year as far as League of Legends goes. Every lobby you get in, you get to buy the banner and flash for me, it's always a C9 Shiner or TSM or SKT if you're one of those bandwagoning pieces of shit. But
Got him.
Ooh.
Ooh.
but it's just great because in every pregame lobby, instead of there still are people arguing saying kill yourself, but there's also on the undertone there's some people who, instead of saying kill yourself, like, oh, he's a C9 fan, dude, hype up. And like, I played a good 4 games a day, and like 3 out of the 4 games there was a bunch of C9 banners, and it was just, we spent the loading into the match people saying, yo, C9 is gonna smash SKT, even though we know that's not gonna happen. But it was just cool. I don't know, I don't know, how do you guys feel about going in the Worlds every year? For me, it's honestly my favorite time of year to play League, even in this shitty art and sensor meta that we're in.
It's
Oh, no,
definitely when I climb the most.
I mean,
It's
end
World-
of season.
yeah.
Right?
Worlds is the best time, I think, because I think that I might have probably said this last year, but I'll just say it again, is I like it because it's no longer, people are no longer just TSM fans or just Cloud9 fans. It's, hey, I'm an NA fan now, and it really unites everyone all together, and I like that a lot.
Mhm. It's always exciting
That makes it
because
pretty fun.
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's funny
A
you
real
should
sense
say
of,
that,
yeah,
because
community.
I'm actually excited to see TSM perform, and that's weird for me to say because I really don't like TSM. I
Fuck
mean,
you.
Yeah.
They're easy. They're easy to not like, but at the same time, I know I'm excited for them just because they've been. I mean, it's TSM. They are the most hyped organization in League of Legends. You like, even Matt, somebody who doesn't watch a lot of LCS, I'm sure you've come across some TSM hype.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's
And I think overall with Worlds, a really nice thing about it is that like it adds just a positive vibe to League because it's normally just so toxic. And I mean, people are still toxic about it, but it comes off as way more lighthearted
yeah.
than
More
normally
jovial.
does.
And it's like
Exactly.
I support a team rather than I'm better
Yeah.
than you at this game.
It's putting a shiny. It's putting a shiny coat of paint on what is normally a trashy community. It might still be a trashy community underneath, but at least it looks good. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited. We won't go too far into specifics of like predictions, but I know as far as I know we all filled out a bracket or a pick'em. I actually do not have TSM making it out of groups.
What? This is our year.
Here's the thing. I want them to make out of the groups because I seriously do want NA to do well. But as far as pick'ems go, you got to throw a curveball in there. In TSM, every year the people say, "All right, they're making it out for sure," but they've never done it. Like it's been like what 3 years since we've seen TSM in a best of series at Worlds. I don't know, man. Like I'm not.
All right, I'm all for the. All right, I mean to be 100% honest, I won't be too shocked if they don't get out of groups because we're TSM and that's how kind of we just don't get out of groups at Worlds. It's just kind of our thing at this point. But I think if there is a year that we do, this is the year. I think TSM has the best shot of any NA team to get out of groups.
They definitely do, but I still didn't pick them. I have Cloud9 getting out second in Group A. That's probably a little bit of fanboy, but you know, I'm not here for 100% accuracy. I'm here for memes first, and then you know, entertainment value second, and then accuracy is a solid third. So yeah, I got C9 and I got SKT in
Nice,
C9
nice.
Group A, and then B. I don't even remember who's in B. Oh, I'm trying to. Oh, you know
B
what?
is Immortals, Fnatic.
Oh, that's right. I actually and Longzhu, the #1 Koreans. I have
Yep.
the Koreans coming out, and I have I have I have the Gigabyte Marines, the wild card, dude. But I don't know.
I have Fnatic and Longzhu. Do we all just want to say who we have getting out of groups real quick?
Yeah, or anything different. Bailey, I don't know. Do you have yours on hand or?
I do. I have Group A with Cloud9 at the top because
I love
fuck it. Second, SK Telecom. Third, Edward Gaming. And fourth, AHQ Esports Club because they're a club, you know. It's like, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
This is a league, guys. Come on.
This is the real deal. We're past the point
Let's
of
get
clubs.
serious now. Let's
Yeah.
get serious now. All right, now as for Group B, aka the rest of the groups without Cloud9 or TSM, so it doesn't really matter. Group B, Longzhu Gaming, Fnatic, Immortals, and Gigabyte Marines. And now my reasoning behind this here is Immortals could probably kill the Gigabyte Marines because, you know, they're immortal, they can't die. But Fnatic has won sometimes, and Scott said something about Korean and #1 for Longzhu Gaming, so I put them at top. Now, my Group C is Samsung Galaxy because I've been playing a lot of Thresh, and I really like his Samsung Galaxy skin.
Samsung.
Then G2 because I've heard of them as well. And then 1907 Fenerbahce Espor because fuck, it's hard to say that name, let alone beat that
Turkish.
team, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you got Royal Never Give Up at the bottom because you know what? Fuck those guys. Alright, rolling on to Group D. We got TSM at the top because I recognize them the most and TSM hype. After that, we got Misfits because it looks like they got Bugs Bunny as their logo wearing some red tanning glasses. And, you know, if Bugs Bunny was getting a tan, I just don't get it, man, you know? And then we got Flash Wolves under that because I heard of them. And then Team WE or We, which is just dumb. So, last.
No
You guys
Chinese
suck.
love in the Chinese world. I love it, dude. Matt,
Yep.
you can just give us any picks that difference, or if you want to just read off the top 2 picks from each group. Either way, just
All right, we've got Cloud9, SKT, and Longview Gaming, Fnatic,
Bailey,
Samsung Galaxy. You asked me, and now I have
said
to
Matt.
finish.
No, we asked Matt. We asked Matt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, me.
It's Bailey's
Ooh,
show
now
now, guys.
No, it's the Bailey show.
The camera is locked on Bailey, if you will.
Yeah, Bailey
Okay.
reads off anything now. Okay.
In
So
case you
Bailey.
guys don't know, I play on camera lock.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What?
That's right.
I had
Yeah.
forgotten, dude. Thanks for reminding me, man. I honestly.
I
Bailey
forgot
uses
as well.
camera lock hype.
I was just gonna say, like, let's just text Bailey what we want to say, and Bailey will just read it off. You know.
Oh,
Oh
yep.
shit, dude. So Bailey,
Milk,
what are Matt's
Eggs,
picks?
cheese. Oh shit, that's my grocery list. Say that again.
What are Matt's picks then?
All right. So for Group A, I have Cloud9 and SKT. Just because
Cloud9 above SKT.
because
I
I
love it.
can, Ted.
I love it.
I mean, I've heard of both of them. I know SKT won. I don't even know what year that was. It's probably a
Last
long
year.
time ago.
The year
but
after that.
Last year.
yeah.
So,
But you know what? I'm just gonna say Cloud9's gonna win because fuck SKT. You know.
Dude, they set it on the dime.
And then, yeah, Group B, I have Longzhu Gaming first. Not really sure why. I think I watched a video on it because I studied for this for like an hour beforehand.
Nice.
I consider myself pretty educated on Worlds now. I know everything to know.
Nice.
Definitely. And then I have Fnatic just because I've heard of them before.
Good strategy, Matt.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I figured if I've heard of them and I don't even watch it, that means they probably were pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. Group C, I have Samsung Galaxy. for literally no reason at all. No reason at all. Just Samsung Galaxy, first place. And then I have G2 Esports because they were in some video I watched, and those guys seem to think they're pretty good. So I'll take their word for it, I guess. Group D, I have TSM just because TSM hype. And then Flash Wolves because some people think they're good, apparently. So most of this is based on nothing, but that's okay.
Those are some shocking picks, Mr. Pence. I'm really appreciative of your narrative you could bring to us.
Thanks, dude. Thank you.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm excited to see. I know just watching plans, it was really exciting to see C9, even though at boo fuck in the morning. But I mean, after this is done, I'm going right to bed, and I'm gonna try to wake up at 6 in the morning just to watch Worlds. So I mean, what does that say about me? I'm gonna go to bed early just to watch professional video games. But you know, you gotta put out for Worlds, boys. I bleed blue, as the kids in the subreddit say.
Am I not allowed to breeze through my fucking pick'ems, dude?
Oh, did we forget Tad?
We forgot the Tad. It's all right.
Oh my god.
I'm a solid background character.
I was assuming you texted what you wanted to say to Bailey, so I was waiting for Bailey to come through.
Oh, see, that makes sense. Like, Bailey, why aren't you saying what Tad once said? I'll breeze through this really quick. Group A, SKT at 1, and Edward Gaming at 2. Group B, Longzhu and Fnatic 1-2. Group C, Samsung Galaxy, Royal Never Give Up 1-2, and Group D, TSM and Flash Wolves. There,
dude. All right, I guess that's fair. I didn't have TSM going out. You can keep Cloud9 out, dude.
I mean, I actually had similar picks to you. That's surprising.
Yeah, we must have watched the same video.
I mean, dude, the guy who got perfect picks last year was like smashed when he made them. So I mean, all the analysts aside, it doesn't really matter. It's gonna be fucking. The only thing that's certain is a Korean is going to win it, and that's about it. So. Oh, but
nice. That's
yeah.
Good.
Transitioning away from League of Legends, there's been a lot of video game releases recently. I know with the we don't even have Call of Duty beta on here, but I mean that's something that's coming up. But actually,
damn.
We can talk about it later. But
okay.
Right now I want to focus on a big game that's been out recently. I know Ryder, if you're watching this, you're gonna love this. But we're gonna be talking about Cuphead, and it's a game that
Ryder plays Cuphead.
Ryder loves Cuphead, dude.
Oh my God,
The
Ryder, the ponies. He's a good man. I always knew it. I always believed it in my heart of hearts, and I just knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. So.
Anywho.
Yeah. What recently, I think something that's been a huge meme on the internet with the release of the game is an official reviewer. I don't know what company he was associated with, but he reviewed the game and he basically said that the game was too challenging and he couldn't get past the second level. It was the second jump, in fact, if I'm correct, right, Tad?
Yep, the second jump in the tutorial.
The second jump in the tutorial. He couldn't get past it. And as a reference as to why the game was too hard, he cited that he had 18 years experience. He just said 18 years experience, like, I have 18 years experience. He didn't say, like, in video games, but it's implied. And I guess that really leads to the discussion is, did video game reviewers really need to be good at video games to review them, or they just need to be somebody who likes video games and works for a company? Like, it's really, I don't know how much. I mean, it's become a meme at this point. IGN 10 out of 10 best water, but like, how much stock do you guys put in video game reviews, and how much stock do you put in the reviewers themselves?
I put more stock.
Oh, go ahead, babe. No,
you're good.
Oh, okay. Well then. Professional. No, okay.
Perfect amount of water.
Yeah. I put more stock into, like, say, like, I guess the best example would be like the Angry Joe show. Stuff like that. Even Donkey's Dunk views to a degree. Something where it's personal and it's that person, and I can watch their other reviews and kind of get a sense for what they look for in games and what they like, and then compare and contrast to myself. Where I feel like with these bigger name companies, I don't know who that person is. Like this, if let's I'm gonna say IGN because everyone knows IGN. Let's assume this Cuphead review guy worked for IGN, and then he gave this review to IGN, and he gave it a 2 out of 10 or whatever it was. And so then everyone would look to see that IGN gave it 2 out of 10. Cuphead is fantastic. Like, I mean, I like Angry Joe a lot because I think we share a lot of the same opinions on what separates a good game from a bad game. And Angry Joe gave it a 10 out of 10 and a badass seal of approval. And I don't know if I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but it's at least an 8 on an 8. If I think I'd give it an 8 after I rage quit because I'm not that great at it, but I have a blast failing. So.
Dude, I'll tell you what, watching that game is just, I was watching Jericho stream it. It was just tilting to watch because he just failed at the same stage so many times. Yeah. And it was like, dude, come on.
That's the thing is, like, the art, the music, it's so good that even though if you have to play the same stage 20 times, you're having fun each time, I feel like. That's just me.
It's time for a big fight. Go ahead, Bailey, sorry.
No, you're good.
That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say the line.
All I was going to say was that literally game reviews, the more I think about them, are more or less looking at what they look at, listening to the game mechanics that they talk about. And anybody who says this game is too hard and they couldn't get through the tutorial, it's kind of like that might be an operator issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not a game issue, not a software issue. And so having that knowledge of like, hey, this game isn't going to be as good to me as it is to this guy maybe, but that doesn't mean I won't think it's good. Mm-hmm. Or, hey, this guy thinks it's bad, I think it's great, you know? It really comes down to opinion and preference in a video game. So I put less stock into interview or reviews and more into like researching what the game looks like, how it's going to be played.
Yeah.
Creative, is it not creative?
I'd say, I think the best, like even better than a review would just be watch a gameplay trailer. Like,
yeah, well, not necessarily a gameplay trailer. Listen to something with first-hand experience.
Yeah, watch gameplay, I guess is what I meant.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look at it and you think it looks fun to play, it's probably worth investing more time into looking at. But if you look at gameplay and you're like, that looks stupid.
Yep,
Why
exactly.
bother?
Like I never looked at any footage for Horizon Zero Dawn and thought, man, that looks really dumb and repetitive. And it's not. It's a new fight every time. There's a challenge around every corner. It's really fun. It's not just another Assassin's Creed or, another game that's just kind of open world generic. Do this task, do this task, do this task. It's like, do this task, but this is a new mechanical monster, and you have to approach it differently than you normally would with the resources that you have. It's really cool.
We could have talked about Assassin's Creed's an RPG now.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Big hype.
I don't even put like any stock in game reviews anymore, to be honest. As you guys know, I'm not somebody who likes to buy a lot of games.
No.
I'm sure Tad's eyes are like doing loops in the back of his head right now. But
I'm nodding so hard.
For me, when I buy a game, it's really about what my friends are playing, and it's like, all right, yeah, this game looks cool, and I'm digging the reviews, but like, does more than one person on my Steam have it? If no, then I'm gonna let it go. And
also, Scott, you don't play a whole lot of like single player experiences. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
Yeah, definitely in it.
The Arkham series is the only single player series that I've played like all the way through. That's about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This isn't a bad thing either. It's just
no. It's just not the type of game you like. You like that competitive edge. You like that drive.
I like playing with the boys. I'm just all about cracking open cold sponsor beverages at all times.
Responsible beverages.
That depends on the beverage, It depends on the sponsor,
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
It really does.
I don't know.
Responsibly drinking our beverages, whether, it be a sugar attack or alcoholism, just however.
I guess, you've got Bailey and Tad, who I'd say Tad is probably, well, I don't know. You both play a lot of single player and a lot of multiplayer. I'm a multiplayer side of things. Matt, where do you lie in between games? Because I don't know, you kind of strike me as more a multiplayer guy personally, but
I think I play both pretty equally. It depends on like the mood I'm in, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm more in the mood to just play a single player game, and just chill for a bit. Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes I'm down to like, go play games with friends, right?
You're down to clown.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I got you.
But
yeah, go ahead.
Back to do you want me to like give in my 2 cents on the original question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of
course.
So, do video game reviewers need to be good to review video games? I think that really depends on who you're reviewing the video game for, right? Because every video game reviewer is going to have some sort of a target audience, right? So I think it's reasonable to assume that most people who would play a game like Cuphead are going to be okay at playing video games, right?
Yeah.
And this guy who did the review and said that he couldn't even get past the second jump on the tutorial. I feel like that's not even a reasonably okay skill level in games, right?
No.
So I think
reviewing a game and considered an expert. No.
Yeah. I think his review was not appropriate for the game he was reviewing.
Yep.
I think he didn't have the skill level that he should have had.
And honestly, if he doesn't like games like challenging games like Cuphead, he should go back to like something a little easier and more straightforward platformer like Mario. That's a great accessible game.
That's another thing we hadn't even talked about it.
I always say to kids in all chat, go back to fucking Mario Kart, you scrub, when I solo kill them. But
I always
this is me
like
being a toxic piece of shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, for me it was always like whenever I would read a review and I'd see somebody say something along the lines of like, I'm reviewing this 2D platform platformer. Let me start off by saying that I don't like 2D platformers. And it's like, well, no,
why are you?
then why did you bother reviewing it? Yeah.
Unless you're following it up with, that being said, this was a great experience. I don't want to hear the rest of your review. If you're reviewing something you don't like, and you don't like it, what are you bringing?
You're basically just saying, "Hey guys, I have a bias against."
I'm super biased. Yes.
This review is not actually going to reflect what the game is really like. So
I don't like 2D platformers, and so game is just living proof of why I don't like 2D platformers.
Yep, it's almost just like a cry to justify his own stance.
Yeah, it's just stuff like that makes me go like, then why are you wasting my time and yours by even bothering with this review?
No, well, and how often does that happen, though? That's another question. Like, how often do you hear a review say, you know, I don't like 2D platformers, so fuck this new Mario game.
Or like, I suppose I don't read big company reviews anymore, but I know I've seen that a lot in the past too with like movie critics of like, I don't like horror films, and I went and saw it and didn't like it. It's like, well, no shit.
Let me just say, it was lit.
It was lit. Coming from an avid Stephen King fan.
Yes.
Coming from a non-Stephen King fan, it was a very good movie. I
have to admit, even though I didn't hate The Dark Tower, I was a little worried after seeing The Dark Tower and then going to see it. I was like, like,
but those were two kind of.
They were two completely different movies.
Yeah,
it was great. Yeah, that opening scene with Georgie and they nailed it. It was so good,
super good.
It was definitely a solid watch.
Oh, yep.
But
and honestly, I'm looking forward to the second one. I am.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, not to stray too far off topic, but mini sidebar here. What do you guys think of like books to movies creating like franchises where you span one book over multiple movies?
Oh,
isn't the books?
I think it's smart.
The book was split. The book was split in two parts, though, wasn't it? Kind of, sort of.
It jumps back and forth from the future to the past.
Okay.
Because
because I never finished it, but now I've been rereading it, and it was like, well, the book's kind of in two parts, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But
it's half when they're
honestly,
half when they're kids.
Honestly, I agree with you in saying that. Spoilers, dude. Damn. But I agree with you in saying that. I do like. I would rather have them take up two movies and tell the story good and right, rather than just condense things down to fit one movie. But that's just.
And that being said, don't drag stuff out or add things that aren't necessary too. Because there are a lot of books where you don't need to add every single detail because it's just too much to watch. It doesn't hold your attention as much.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was over at your place a few weeks back, and we were watching the old movie, and like the old movie. Let me just preface by that. It was not good. It was not good, but like the story was still like
It was there. It was there. They told it in the way that Stephen King actually kind of tells the story in the book, but it's not good.
No,
and it's because they tried too hard to tell it exactly like the book was, which is what I really appreciated about the new movie. And it was also a made-for-TV movie, and the acting was atrocious.
There's so many memes. Remember that kid when he's down at the swamp, and he sees like the clown is imitating his dad, and he shouts out, "Daddy!
Daddy!
Daddy!
Daddy!"
I want to clip that and make it a drop in our Discord.
Absolutely no.
We totally should.
Oh man, that was so funny.
We got way off
topic. Said, but have you guys seen all the fangirls like over sexualizing Pennywise the clown on like Tumblr and shit?
What?
I stay away from that stuff. It's not my thing. To each his own. But
dude, Mike Pence is not a fan. He's gonna shock him out of that line of thinking.
Yeah, dude.
Mike Pence finds this discovery shocking, to say the least.
I can't believe people would commit such atrocious and shocking acts.
Mm-hmm.
It truly electrifies me.
Oh shit.
Oh man, what were we talking about? We were talking about Cuphead. Okay.
Yep.
Video game reviewers.
Bring it back.
Yeah, we went on a big
Uh,
move. We were talking about video game reviewers, and then like, I think it started with
Movie
it started with
critics, yep. And then
yeah, it started with I don't like horror movies, and here I reviewed this horror movie, and I
Yes.
don't like Tubi. Yep, there we
And
go.
then you said it, Tad. That was naughty. That was
I
on the
did.
schedule.
I'm sorry.
You
It was a
can't
good
say
movie.
it-
Go watch it.
You can't say it and expect me to not follow it up. Was lit, you know?
Yeah,
Like that's a bait, man.
it's just an unspoken rule.
You know I'm fake checking that Bush. But as far as Cuphead goes, when you originally told me about it, it was one of those games where like, yeah, I get it's a big deal, but it's not a Scott game. The more I hear about it, the more I'm like, it could be a Scott game if I really wanted it to be. I mean, it's one.
I don't think it's that big either. It's one of those games where you can pick up, play it, try to get through it all the way, finish it, and then come back to it later if you want. But it's a $20 experience.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Was at $20, it is easily so recommendable. Like it's so well priced bucks, like for a great time.
And I think that's a great
it's
transition.
just like Dark Souls.
Exactly. As a $20
Cuphead is the Dark Souls of Bloodborne, dude.
The Dark Souls.
That's a Steam comment.
Nice.
But it's
And there goes all of our viewers.
As far as what viewers, dude? But as far as
ouch,
dude, self-deprecation is the best kind of humor. Otherwise, we're gonna end up like
Humor.
Otherwise, we're gonna end up on Content Cop if we don't have humility, you know. And that's
there's a drop.
Oh shit! Just don't call out Ian. That's the only thing you have to do.
There's the switch.
And
what we do here is go back.
We're looking to not end up like a certain was it Jake Paul or was it Logan Paul?
Yeah, we're not. Don't drop his name. Don't give him the satisfaction.
Dude, my bad.
Don't
My bad.
do it,
We won't put him in the title though. This is something I'm gonna let Tad or Matt, either one of you guys, describe the situation before we get into it. But basically, iDubbbz runs a Content Cop series, and that's all I know about it. Except I watched the video, so go for it.
Matt, have at her.
Oh well, I mean, do you want me to just explain his Content Cop series in general, or do you want me to talk about the Rice Gum episode?
Both,
you weren't supposed to say it. Content Cop is essentially just like he critiques and kind of just I don't know. It's very much it's very much a diss. Like it's very much an attack on.
It's a
joke. Yeah, on someone's content that they make. Usually targets, I'd say, more low effort channels.
Low effort, popular channels.
Yeah, like they're kind of popular and no one kind of knows why, I guess. But
everybody knows why.
Everyone knows why.
It appeals to an immature audience.
Little kids, little kids.
But in the past. Go ahead, Matt.
The quote from Ethan, remember? If there's ever something you find on the internet that is unexplainable, the answer is usually little kids, right? And the little kids, the immature audiences just drive the weirdest shit.
And let me just say, little kids, if you watch our stuff, we love you.
Yes, little kids.
If you watch our stuff, do not repeat the words you hear on this podcast.
Click on all the ads.
Yeah. You guys like Minecraft?
Dude, Bailey was talking about getting Minecraft server back, and we will bring it back.
Minecraft server back.
A quad bit of feed Christian Minecraft server. No swearing.
I would be lying to you right now. I would be lying to you right now if I didn't tell you I had my Switch in my hand and I am building my house as we speak.
Exactly. There it is.
Minecraft is a wonderful thing, and it's so fantastic on the Switch, may I say.
I'm going to have to police this conversation because the Content Cop is coming in.
Anywho, in the past, the Content Cops have been, career-ending, quite literally. The best example and the most recent one would be the Leafy is Here. Yep. He went from, what 2 million views a video down to like 100,000.
Oh
Which
yeah,
is-
and he was posting every day pretty much too.
Yeah, it went from
Every day,
like
bro.
it went from like everyone knew who Leafy is here to like he's irrelevant. I mean,
Mhm.
everyone always says,
"Oh, easy there, easy there."
"Oh, my bad." Okay, well, I mean, he's
he
obviously
says
more
he's
relevant than
irrelevant,
we
but
are.
I haven't seen like his videos used to be in my goddamn description every day, and he just
Yes.
disappeared.
Yes.
I'm not upset about that, but it's something that happened.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't think anybody's really upset about it if you
Except-
didn't watch it.
except
No.
maybe Leafy.
He's
yeah, he's
his
probably.
channel
And
just
the
died
multitudes
relatively to his old
His Jimmy's are
view
rustled.
count.
I think everyone always like whenever someone's talking shit about another person, they're like, "Man, this is the end of his career," and that might be the beginning of the end. But if you ever want, like, if there's ever a YouTube channel out there and you just despise them for whatever reason, I think the best thing you can do is just not talk about them, because even if you talk about them, you're saying, "Hey, this person is irrelevant," and like, is
Yeah.
relevant, But if you just
Mhm.
don't give them any attention, they'll fade away from existence. And so, I don't know. In my opinion, that whole drama thing is just backwards. But
Yeah, I think that's why like channels like Drama Alert and Keemstar, that's why he never died off, because nobody really stopped talking about him. And
Goes
He's
back
still
to
around.
the overused catchphrase, but any publicity is good publicity.
Publicity.
yeah,
keeps your name floating around.
because the worst thing people can, I mean, if people hate you, they're still clicking on videos about you. They're still coming, to your channel to thumb you down.
And other people are still making content about you.
Yeah, exactly. People are still talking about you.
I
but
never heard of Keemstar until Items did his thing.
There you go.
But I mean, that's
Hell, even Scott hadn't heard of Rice Gum until that. You showed him the video.
I still am unsure on who Rice Gum is and why I should care about him. But
I suppose,
according to the
Items made a video about him.
iDubbbz made a
honestly.
video about him, so maybe I shouldn't care about him because he's about to be irrelevant, folks.
Got him.
There you go.
Over.
Can I make a confession?
You're fired.
Go ahead, Ted.
I got like 8 minutes into that video before I was like, wait a minute, that's not Jake Paul.
Are you serious?
Oh my
I
god.
couldn't, because I knew who Rice Gum was, but I didn't recognize his face.
Wait,
You missed the part where he says it's not about Jake Paul, it's about Asian Jake Paul.
It's like 2
Well,
minutes
yeah,
in.
but that's what I was confused, because I didn't understand who Asian Jake Paul was, because I didn't recognize Rice Gum. I was like, who's this? That's Asian Jake Paul. I was like, who is this, and why is he Asian Jake Paul? And then like eventually, I don't know if it was 8 minutes, but at some point, like some Rice Gum logo or something must have popped up. And then like I went and looked up a picture of Rice Gum, and then I was like, oh, I
had heard
get it.
I had heard of him before, but I never knew who he was or even that.
I'd heard of him, but yeah, I'd never like
kind of an asshole.
I'd heard of him, but I'd never heard positive things about him, so I never like actively sought him out, or like his content, and then
that makes sense.
From what I understand on the
content
video,
from
though,
Max.
Rice Gum was just somebody he's pretty stereotypical person that like draws in hate, and the way the video was put together definitely makes you want to hate him, but obviously that's the point of what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Basically, from what I was able to draw, he's a guy who likes to spend his money on his YouTube videos and do it in a way that is obnoxious, and he uses that to build content somehow.
Yeah. I'm going to do something I swore I'd never do, but I'm going to say it. Sit down. Be humble.
Oh,
there
shit.
it is.
There we go.
Damn.
Yeah, because well, I mean, and the other
He's off the cast, folks.
We're demonetized for sure.
Not advertiser
But,
appropriate.
because like the other point that iDubbbz was making though in the content cop was about the comments that Rice Gum had made towards that chick that got raped.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yep.
That was honestly the most fucked up part of
It's
everything Rice Gum.
nobody's arguing with iDubbbz points.
Exactly.
Yeah.
iDubbbz makes videos that have no counter argument to them, honestly.
Because he spends time in research and he's a very smart individual.
Well, and I think another thing about iDubbbz as like a entity in general is that he never claims to be anything. Basically,
part of what makes him so attractive is he doesn't do that. He doesn't claim that he's better than anybody else. He just really acts like a typical weird ass dude who's just acting like himself, and you trust that.
Yeah, well, exactly. But that's what makes him so untouchable too.
If you watch the first episode of Content Cop, he goes, we've all made cringy content. Maybe you've done whatever, or maybe you made a cringy Gangnam Style Slenderman video, and then he shows his Gangnam Style Slenderman video. Like he's not afraid to take shots on him. He's a man who admits his flaws, and when he's already exposed himself, so to say, you can't expose him on anything.
He's a very hard person to touch.
Yeah, because he's all like, someone said he looked like he had cancer, and he shaved his head, like, so he looked more like a kid.
Kind of made the person who was saying that stuff look like an idiot too, like. Yeah. Because it is an idiotic comment, you know, like that's just dumb.
Or like
you're insulting me because I might have a disease that's like because I look like a certain way. That's just dumb. Yes, exactly.
Levy made fun of his receding hairline, so he cut his hair so it looked like he had a receding hairline.
Yeah, he would basically cut out his widow's peak and then some. So
yeah, it's just like damn.
And the other thing he does is he gives the bullies the taste of their own medicine.
Yeah.
New internet bullies, I should say. It's a good thing, actually. How do you get a bully to stop talking? You show him a little retaliation.
You show him you don't give a damn.
Exactly. That's and I always love the way that his content cops are so they're definitive, right? There's no questioning it. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any way to counter
videos. Yep.
Honestly, I think that's just a good way to go about life. Figure out the shit that matters and differentiate that from the shit that does stuff. We're gonna be a Christian server. Differentiate that from from the stuff that doesn't matter, and then you hand out dams accordingly where they belong. So you give the dams to the stuff that matters, and the stuff that doesn't matter, you keep those dams to yourself. Honestly, just don't give them out is what I'm saying. And when I say dams, because this is a Christian server, I'm referring to the things Beaver spilled. So
exactly. We got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that kind of wraps.
I think
wraps up Content Cops.
That being said, as we are right now, iDubbbz, please content cop us because you have 5 million subscribers and we have 50.
That would be great.
And the exposure is good exposure.
Exactly.
That will expose you to ours. That will expose you to that.
You can't become irrelevant if you were never relevant in the first place.
Exactly.
Do that.
Guys, sub to the YouTube channel. We sub back. Follow us on Twitter. We follow back.
We're all about that life. We're all about having a good social media presence. But you know who's not about a good social media presence? That's Riot Games, or specifically Riot Sanjuro. And recently, I'm sure if you are at all involved in the League of Legends community, if you've ever graced the subreddit even once, this is the most. Let me preface by saying this story received when I saw it. 35,000 upvotes. Normally, the stuff on the top of the league thread, it's 2,000, 4,000 max. This one, 35,000. It's huge. But I'll get into the story for those of you who aren't familiar. Basically, a Riot employee it was an official Riot Discord server where a lot of they interact with the community a lot. He was quoted as saying, I'll pull it up here so I can quote it. He, Tyler1, looks like a damn homunculus. And honestly, it's fine. He'll die from a coke overdose or testicular cancer from all the steroids. Then we'll be Gucci. This coming from a lead member of the game that makes League of Legends, the game which Tyler1 has been banned from for justifiable reasons, obviously, but that does not excuse. And I think it's not like we're the White Knights that are like calling out Sanjuro. Like everybody else has done this, but obviously that is not something you should be saying as an employee of a company.
As an employee of a company, that's what it comes down to.
You shouldn't be like.
He shot himself in the foot.
Yeah, it's hard to feel bad for the man. Like you have Riot in your name. Like you're clearly representing. I don't know. I just whenever we were on like a football trip or whatever, or like something my parents just stressed for me from a very young age is like you are representing, your town, your name, your school, whatever. Like even if you don't think you are, and even if you're not like an official representative, if somebody if you go to Texas and we're from Minnesota and the people from Texas have never interacted with Minnesotans before and we're all assholes, I mean, who are they to assume that all Minnesotans are just assholes? Like they've never met any before. And so if this is your first experience with a Riot Games employee and you see that, like it clearly sets you off on the clearly gives you the wrong message.
If you're from Texas and you see a kid from Minnesota with making a wax or a mold of your hand with 3 fingers in a certain position, it's just
man,
it's just them saying rock on.
It means rock on. We're from Minnesota. We're weird.
It means good luck. It's a
is it good luck? I don't remember what you said, but
I said it means many things.
All I remember is pulling out my phone and pretending to take a call, and I was like,
Okay, hold on. That I handled that pretty fucking gracefully.
You did. I was afraid I would mess it up, so that's why I was like, "Baby's got this."
I was like, I could have been like an idiot looking at it and go, "Oh, one of the pink and 2 in the stick," or 2 in the pink and 1 in the stick.
That to her and her.
But I didn't.
Her 15-year-old daughter.
There were children present.
Gracefully handled, and our now Christian podcast thanks you.
Yes. You're welcome. You are all welcome.
Riot Sanjuro could take a lesson from us, let me tell you. But
from Bailey specifically, I mean, let's give him some credit.
But
he was clearly not locked on target.
And I have no troubles whatsoever locking on. Nobody will ever argue that.
Your champion is always
that's right.
in the center of your screen.
Camera lock. Nice. I was like, nobody else got the meme, so I don't feel bad for just saying it.
Yeah, I just feel bad for saying it.
You should feel bad for you should feel bad for using it.
I feel bad about my mental state. You guys don't even know how to play League of Legends. When was the last time you played Thresh? When was the last time you fed your ADC to victory? Don't even talk to me. Don't even talk to me until you know what it's like to be Thresh.
Except we actually lost, so maybe I shouldn't bring that up.
I played a little ADC Thresh today. What an adventure, let me tell you.
Yeah. Sounds lit.
That's all I'm saying. It didn't go well.
But back on topic, this is one of the, I don't know, I just, like I said, it got, it's at 36,000.9, so almost 37,000 upvotes for the League of Legends subreddit. I think it made it on r/all, and it was crazy.
Yeah, it did.
To see people who have no idea come in, and like, there are people who have no idea about any of this are coming in to this thread, reading about it, and they're like, I have no idea who Tyler1 is, but I don't think a representative should be saying these things. And it was funny because a thread was like, the comment was, two questions. What is a homunculus, and how does this guy still have his job? And then they had a picture, then they had a picture of Tyler1, and it's the one where he's got his skull concaved. In the edit of the video, I'll put the picture of Tyler1, but he legitimately, like, if you watched, what is this show? Full Metal Alchemist, and that's where the homunculus thing comes from. But, like, that's legitimately what Tyler1 looks like, no offense.
A little bit.
But he definitely represents it, and
Tyler's aware of what he looks like.
Tyler1, to his credit, he took it like a champ. He's like, I have nothing personally against the guy. It just sucks that shit like this happens, you know. Honestly, And it's just interesting because a lot of people, the Free Tyler1 movement, which it's definitely a movement, every single Twitch stream, aside from people cheering for TSM, it's all the next thing on the list is Free Tyler1 for just no reason. But it's never, this movement has never been higher than it is right now, solely because of what the Riot employee said about him. I mean,
Because
I guess,
it makes the company look bad.
yeah, I guess where do you guys stand with Tyler1 coming back into the full or being unbanned? Because I mean, he still plays on separate accounts, and Riot are kind of just like, oh, whatever, we'll just let the dude do his thing. We're not gonna police him too bad. I think we lost Tad.
We did lose Ted.
Oh, rip.
Is he dead?
I don't know what
I
happened to Tad.
have no idea.
We're gonna take,
Well,
ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a short break until we find Tad, but we'll be right back. Thanks. Stay tuned. And we're back. Tad is here, and as you can notice, all the pictures are flip-flopped, and that's because Tad ruined it, and the whole podcast is over. Thanks very much, Tad.
This will be the last episode of the Quadritter Feed podcast.
Dude, that's because we're rebranding. Remember, dude?
Oh, that's
We
right.
are rebranding.
Yeah.
That's right.
Are we big enough yet to drop that?
Can we rebrand if we were never a brand in the first place?
That's what I say. I think we're going to rebrand.
Yeah.
It's better now. That so I don't know how I managed to click off, but I clicked off because I don't know how I managed to click off, but I was trying to send you guys this picture. Why isn't it a picture? Anywho, is that the there we go. Is this the concave skull you were it's
oh
uploaded.
my
Is
god.
that what you were referring to, Scott?
Yes,
Jesus fucking Christ.
that is Tyler1.
That's his real head.
Yes.
That's actually Photoshopped though, isn't it?
I do
right?
not believe
It's
so.
totally
know.
Photoshopped.
Like
It's totally Photoshopped.
No, that's where the
Is
extra league skill space is stored.
I think he did like there you go.
That's where he keeps the Draven mechanics.
It's transcendent. This is by the way, someone make a meme that says this is what the ideal male human body looks like. You may not like it, but this is perfect.
Reddit has already done that.
I love his neck too.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I mean, this is just the first time seeing of it, so look at that.
Well, obviously you wouldn't found it.
Yeah.
Look at his fucking neck too. What the hell?
He's also very muscular. There's a reason he's told him he was on steroids. It's like, hey, good for Tyler. This guy's telling him he's like on steroids, whatever.
Yeah.
Tyler's like,
I mean, I guess to kind of say like to finish that, Matt, that's definitely his real head. You can look at other pictures.
Oh my god, that's horrific.
It's a permanent headphone suction, dude.
What the hell?
Guys, we're representing our brand here. We can't. Well, I guess we didn't say he should die.
Christians don't make fun of people or their heads.
Especially somebody who's been persecuted by a Riot employee.
Mm-hmm. The evil.
We are sorry.
The evil overlord organization who's out to get us, right?
Yep, I must say it's hard to hate on Tyler1, especially now after how he handled that situation very maturely, which is not something I'd expect at all. But I'm sorry,
keep going.
I'm not a Tyler1 fan. Anywho,
okay.
I think my personal belief is that we all know he was extremely toxic in the past. I think he'll always be banned just to kind of be that example. Kind of that, I don't know, but I don't think Riot will ever unban him.
See, that's one point I've been thinking about though, because Riot's all about the banning people, but like also they want people to reform. Like there was a thread, oh god, it's an old thread. It was like on a Riot forum, but a guy was appealing his ban, and he was saying how it's bullshit and it's stupid. And so a Riot employee came back, like a Riot support staff came back, and they gave him literally like 7 paragraphs on his like his chat logs, and each like chat log of why he got reported and banned. He went through and it explained why he was wrong for doing this thing, and it was basically, I'll give a quick ad lib of it here, but the guy would say to his teams, "You guys are fucking trash. I always have to carry you." And he's like, "Now, when you're saying this, are you really that upset with your team? Are you upset because you know that you're going to have to carry these bad players and you're insecure about your abilities?" And the cool thing about it is the guy who had sent this to Riot initially, like the player who'd been banned, he came back and said, "This actually hit deep. First off, I can't imagine how in depth an employee of this company went just for me, this kid who was calling you guys idiots over a comment. But secondly, like, it hits home. Like, every game, I call my teammates trash because I think I'm bad, but it's really I'm insecure about my ability to play the game, and like I take it seriously. And when I'm not able to carry games, it's frustrating, and so I take it out on my teammates. And this is a little off topic, but I think the writer came back and said, I'm glad that you have seen this ways. I'll see what I can do about reducing your suspension, because I think it was a permaban. But like I never got the end story if he got unbanned. But I think Riot really, truly do want, like, they want to make people better. They're not just ban hammer, you're done. Like, if people truly show that they're reformed, I think they're willing to give them a second chance. And I think if Tyler like legitimately is fully rebranded, I think Riot would love to bring him back, because it like you say, make an example out of him, how toxic's not allowed. I say make an example of him, of how this is how you should play our game, and this is how you can change.
Yeah.
I can't find a number, but my next follow-up question would be, how many times has Tyler1 been banned?
Oh
And
god,
then
it's in the
unbanned?
20s. It's in the 20s,
Yeah.
maybe 50s.
So how many chances has he been given?
Well,
And like, how many chances should someone be allowed?
yeah. See, I don't know. I'm not.
And that's,
honestly, I don't care if Tyler1 gets
a
unbanned or
loaded
not.
question. Yeah.
Like, I have no stock in it personally. I only watch it. I just keep up with him whenever something about him gets trending. Like the Riot Sanjuro thing, or if he faces somebody in solo queue.
When someone says he'll die of testicular cancer.
When it's spicy, I'll tune in to Tyler1. But if he's truly reformed, by all means, Riot, bring him back in. But if he's still toxic, then keep him out. And
I mean, I guess
either way, no skin off my back.
Yeah, to kind of clear, I know I said I'm not a Tyler1 fan. I think the Tyler1 I know is the one that kind of just embodies everything wrong with the League of Legends community. That being said, if he were to reform and Riot would unban him, it would be, no skin off my nose. I wouldn't be the one. I would be the last person in like the League Reddit forums or anywhere saying like, this is bullshit. Like, Tyler1 is still toxic. He needs to be banned again.
He hurt my feelings.
Yeah. He yelled, "You have no mana" at Freak, and I liked Freak.
You have no mana!
Oh, man.
But going back to the Riot employee, I think a big or an important part of the situation is the fact that he was in the Discord, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the official Riot or the official League of Legends Discord, right?
Totally agree.
And I think that the environment that he was in was probably pretty fucking toxic to begin with, right?
Oh yeah.
Does that matter though when you're representing a company?
I'm just saying it's a lot easier to be really offensive and dramatic like that when everybody else around you is being really offensive and dramatic, right?
Yeah.
Even if it's about
it seems like the
stuff.
norm, right?
That's very true. That's a very good point, man.
It turns into r/circle jerk. I mean,
yeah.
Well, shouldn't that Riot employee be better about that though?
Oh definitely.
The Riot employees definitely should be held accountable. Yeah,
but I'm just saying, I think it's important. Yeah, I think it's important to reflect on the fact that the community contributed to that happening pretty much.
Oh
right?
yeah, exactly. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
It's what it comes down to in every league match. If I'm doing decent, but some guy calls me out on one little thing, and the rest of the team is just like right back at it, like with, no, he's doing fine. Like when your teammates support you when somebody's doing or somebody's being dumb and toxic, it's a super nice feeling. Whereas like if an employee is doing that when they're working so hard to get rid of that, that's when it becomes unfortunate in my
it's hypocritical.
scenario.
It's
Yeah.
And again, I know I've already said it, but I have almost like rethought my opinion on Tyler1 because of how well I think he had.
Yeah.
Acknowledging it, but saying like it sucks, but you know, what am I like getting upset about it isn't gonna fix anything, right? So
yeah. Well, he's at the same time playing the game still.
Yep.
You know, his Tyler1 account is banned, but he's still making money off of their game. So,
isn't it like every time they find his account though, they just reban?
If there was I think they've let off the gas a little bit recently.
On that. Okay. I know they were for a while.
Yeah, for a while they were like they were witch hunting him for a while, but it's let off a little bit. Like, yeah, they know he's making accounts, but they don't have like a team of people browsing every stream, looking at match history. Yeah. Was that Tyler1? We gotta get him, boys. But you know, they've definitely calmed down on that front. And
there goes that Tyler1 again, playing my good old Christian League of Legends.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I think the whole idea of unbanning him is kind of just rhetorical in general, right? Because when you're banning somebody from an online video game, you can't really guarantee that they'll never be able to play the game again, right?
Yep,
even from their own house, from the same PC, right? They can't have the same name, right? But
it's not like you're you're banning somebody from a Walmart or something. You can't call them and kick them out of your store.
That's not the way the internet works, right?
Also, you can don't get a VPN at Walmart.
I suppose.
You can be sneaky on the internet too.
You can be sneaky.
But I mean, like this is the equivalent of like wearing like a robo suit or something and looking like a completely other person. Because when you use a VPN, you're completely masking yourself, right? You're not. There's no correlation back to you. They might be able to know that, hey, this is an IP address associated with a VPN, but that still doesn't mean. It means nothing. They have no idea who you are. And most of these VPNs don't even keep logs, so there's no way to track.
I agree with you.
It's one of those things that. You can enforce by image, but you can't enforce by practicality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to play League of Legends, they're going to play League of Legends. They just might not get to do it on their account that they spent thousands of dollars in skins on.
Yep.
And that's kind of, I think, the point of banning people. And I think that pretty much does it for everything we wanted to cover tonight. Real quick, we have been playing a lot of PUBG recently. I know Bailey finally picked it up after a while, but this game is honestly might overtake League for like the main game that all of our friends play, and that's saying something because League is huge. Like, it's what we talked about this whole last episode, but PUBG is really taking off, and I've have more friends who play PUBG almost than I do League, at least on a consistent basis, and that's crazy. And that being said, I've been working on putting out a PUBG video of some of the highlights. It's not going to be like a flick of the wrist with the Car 98 or anything, or something impressive. It's going to be more for goofs and the gaffs, but I feel like that's kind of what our brand is. We mentioned rebranding, but we should probably say, if any of you have an opinion on if we should. So we came up with this idea over a game of PUBG, coincidentally, but we're thinking of changing the name to the podcast to Quad Mitter Cast, like, you know, because the channel name's Quad Mitter Feed, right? So if you guys have any,
you know our channel name, right? You know it.
Yeah, I mean, you're
You know
watching
what?
this on our channel. You click the video, so you know it, right? But if you guys have any opinion on if we should change the name to Quadmid or Cast, just because I don't know, it kind of has a nice ring to it. If you guys think, or if you like the Quadmid podcast, it's simple, it's direct, you know what you're getting. It's a known commodity, but not known by that many people. But,
It's known by the 6 viewers we beat that.
dude,
Hey, we appreciate you 6 viewers. We don't need to
appreciate
go
you.
anywhere.
No matter what
You
we call
matter.
ourselves, no matter what we call ourselves, you'll always be the loyal listeners.
I appreciate you.
Loyal listeners.
But yeah, look out for a PUBG video. We'll see if I can actually have the patience to edit an entire video, because God knows my patience is half the reason this is the first podcast in how many months. But
But hey, we have an actual schedule now.
That's right.
And you know,
the first and
did
third
we-
Wednesday of the month.
did we mention how we meant to do it last week and then we did it?
We did meant to do it, but dude, it works better. First and third sounds better than second and fourth, you know?
Yep, no, because I mean, how many months have a fourth month or a fourth week, you know?
Exactly, dude. February is just like, fuck you, dude. But, yeah, in the next episode, I think we're going to finally make a Twitter account, so you guys can follow us there and keep up to what's going on, but that's something on my agenda. Look for the link in that. And the purpose of the Twitter account, other than to, like, sling some memes at you guys, is to announce live stream, and I think this is the first cast that we've live streamed, but obviously it's not doing super well, because literally I said, hey guys, should we live stream this before we casted? And that was all the advertisement I did for the stream, so nobody knows that it's happening right now. But if you guys follow us on Twitter, that's the best way to keep up when we're going live, and we're going to always shoot for around every other Wednesday at 8, but you know, we can't always guarantee. We might go earlier, we might go sooner, we might even go on Tuesday if Tuesday is a better day. But you know.
And hey, if we do decide to change days, what better place to find out than the Twitter account?
Twitter.com/.
Follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter. It doesn't exist
Do
yet,
it.
but it will. It will.
Oh.
Yeah, so look out for that. We may be doing League of Trivia, although I think we want to set that one up better and advertise it a little more. Maybe we'll wait till after Worlds. I think that'd be a good time for it, just because the hype will die down a little bit. Look out for that. Look out for a PUBG video. And yeah, if you guys have, again, I say this every video, but if you have any specific content that you'd like to see from us, if there's a game that you've noticed us playing, because if you're watching this, you're likely a member of our community already. But if there's a game we've been playing that you want to see content on, let us know. And if there's a demand, we'll probably meet it, because we have what few viewers we have, we need to keep, because Bailey and I are here on potato mics, if you can't tell by the audio quality. So we need to get our revenue up, folks. But I'll let you guys say any closing comments you have.
I have one thing I want to add before we do that. The other thing is, I know Scott. I've kind of been, but not really. I know Scott has a lot more than I have. Has been streaming on Twitch, just himself, playing games. Right. If you like that, I mean, we can maybe link our own personal streams, but otherwise that'll be on the Twitter as well too. But stop by, say hi.
Yeah, I right now I'm in between jobs, which actually, good news. I should be having some interviews fairly soon here, so I'm excited for that. But right now it's good because I have plenty of time to stream. So like in the morning, I'd say probably 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is when I like to stream. So if you guys want to see a boosted top laner try to get the plat before the season ends, by all means, twitch.tv/MattToTheJack. Shameless self-promotion, check. But
shameless self-promotion on your own podcast? Who in the hell are you?
I am. I don't think you guys get that reference. I don't think you guys get that reference. But should we sign it off, guys?
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Tad, closing comments.
Thanks for tuning in, as always, loyal listeners. We'll see you in not next week, but the week after that.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. I do the math.
Bailey.
Hey, you guys have a swell night, and we'll talk to you soon. Looking forward to being back.
Wait, Matt.
Get zapped, kids. That's about all I have to say.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Mad Jack, and thank you for listening to the Quad Mid podcast. And you heard it here first, Cloud9 World Champions confirmed.
We can cut the part where I let the Twitch call, right?
Yeah, we're gonna cut that. That would be
Lightning. What would you say? Lightning struck the house, dude.